Hey everyone, this is Lisa from the Rhinestone World, and in this video I'm going to be using the monogram feature available in our TRW Design Wizard to create these masculine monograms that will be cut using Silhouette Connect and our Silhouette Cameo 3. These are a perfect thing to do for these ties that are going to be used for groomsmen in a wedding or any other item you want to put a monogram on but you want to keep it a little bit more masculine. Now I am here in CorelDRAW X8 and I am running Design Wizard 4. Okay, so the monogram feature is available in the Wizard versions 3.15 and up. So that's available that you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the monogram feature to quickly make some masculine monograms that can be placed onto ties for a bridal party. It's going to be for the groomsmen. So let's go over here to my text tool. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type in my initials. So the way I'm setting up these monograms is I'm going to do first, last, middle. Okay, so the middle letter in a monogram is going to be the last name. So let's go right here. I'll do MLA. I'm not even going to worry about caps or anything. Click again, HLV. And I'm going to click again, DLT. Click again, MB. Then HLD. And then NPT. So I have all of my different text over here, and I'm going to go back to my pick tool. So the pick tool is in this top left corner. Let's highlight all of these. You'll see little squares underneath it, which means they're all selected. And we're going to open up our wizard. So you can see, you can search your fonts. So let me delete this out of here just for now, and you have all of your fonts set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a TRW mono. So I have mono, and then this is mono hexagon 1. So I'm going to change them all over, and when I zoom in, you don't really see much. They look like just letters. So the great thing about this is we're going to set our letters, and then we're going to click right here, this M, and our text fly out in the wizard. So if you click this M, it will change the shape over. So now you can see I have my little hexagons, and if I move it around and if I double click, you can see I have these points here. So it's already been converted to curves for me as well. So I have these all set, and now all I have to do is resize them. So I'm going to go right here, and the way I'm going to be placing them is they are actually going to go on the back part of a tie. So my tie is very narrow. It's about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to resize these to be 1.25 inches. So we go right here. This is how we resize. Double check that you have this little lock set. You have it locked. And we'll do 1.125, which is 1.25. Hit the tab key, and we'll do 1.125, and then hit enter, and now we have it set like that. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this for all of our other ones. So let's go right here, 1.125, and you can see it didn't work. So sometimes this lock will unlock, so we'll go back, make sure it's locked, 1.125, 1.125. And then we're just going to continue this on. 1.125, 1.125. Then almost done. 1.125, 1.125. Then one more. Alright, so we have all of our text here. And so now we just need to do a couple more things. I am going to be cutting through Silhouette Connect, so I'm going to set up my initials pretty close to each other because I'm actually going to use scrap vinyl as well. So let's bring that close. The great thing is that it's set up as a hexagon, so we can kind of interlock them pretty easily. And we're going to highlight all of this. Now in Silhouette, we would right click and we would flip horizontally. Now there is a mirror button in the wizard, however what it does is it makes a copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of this here, and right here I have my mirror horizontally button. I'm going to check that, and now all my text is mirrored. So I'm all set to go. So we're going to take my mouse, highlight all of this, and we're going to go to export. So basically what we're doing is we're taking our design and taking it out of Corel and sending it somewhere else. Typically when you export, you're going to send it as a file type to your computer. This is also how we can cut out of the wizard if we have Silhouette Connect. So we're going to go over here, check Cameo, and do send to cutter. And so what this is going to do is it's going to open up Silhouette Connect. So it might take a second or two because Silhouette Connect is an additional program that's going to bridge it. But you can see I have Silhouette Connect running. Now, as of right now, Silhouette Connect still has the same color scheme as Silhouette Studio 3.0. So if you are using Silhouette Studio 4.0 and your Silhouette Connect looks a little bit off, double check to make sure you are running the latest version. But if you are running the latest version, it still looks like this. It's not the end of the world. Mine looks like it too. So now we're going to set up our page properties just like we would in Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to go ahead and set my width to be 9 inches because that's how wide my material is. And it's only 3 inches tall. So now you can see my monograms are going to fit pretty well on that. And we're going to go right here and turn on my Cameo cutting mat. So for something like this, I am going to utilize my cutting mat because I want to make sure I'm not wasting any space and that my rollers don't move. And it's just a good practice to get into when you're doing scrap vinyl like this. So now we're going to go ahead and choose our material. Now I have preset some material in here. So I'm going to be using EasyWeed, and I have it right here. This is the Columbia Blue from the electric line. So we're going to go over here, choose EasyWeed, and then right here, cut settings, we're going to choose that for EasyWeed. So now we have our line set. We're going to cut like that. And now we can go over here and change our blade to automatic blade because we're using the Silhouette Cameo 3. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my speed up a little bit because these will be pretty easy to cut. So my blade's going to be at 3, my speed at 7, and my thickness at 7. So we're going to go over here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my mat, put it into my cutter, press start, and then I'll be all set to go. Here is my scrap piece of vinyl. This is the Columbia Blue and Siser EasyWeed Electric. And you can see I even have a decent amount left over. So honestly, I could do a totally new groomsman bridal party with what I have left. So I'm going to trim off the excess. Now I'm just going to take my weeding tool. So this is the Magic Weed Edge. You can get it on our website, therhinestoneworld.com, as well as this Columbia Blue vinyl. So both those materials you can get on the website. And now I'm just going to go over and pull the excess. So it's really simple. This is a good reason why I say to do your test cuts, because you really shouldn't have much resistance when you're weeding your vinyl. It should come right up. So let's go over here and get these little sections out. We're just going to take that. And the great thing about the way this monogram is set up is they're really easy to interlock, so you're not wasting much material, if any, really. We'll go right there. Right, so now we have our monograms just like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them out individually to be placed on the ties. Now I have all of my monograms cut and weeded. I'm going to be pressing it to this tie. So this is just a silk tie. And the great thing about this tie is it's actually a lot tougher than you think. So it can take the heat. So we have it right here, and you'll notice that the vinyl is a pretty good match to it. So this is pretty close to the Columbia Blue. Now, these monograms are going to go on the back side of the tie. You don't want it up front. For this bridal party, they wanted custom ties, but they didn't want it to be, overpowering for the wedding. So we're going to place it, basically it's going to be right above here once it's tied. So this will also be a good indicator if the groomsmen tied their ties correctly. So we're just going to find our placement for this. I'm going to kind of set it up over here, and now I'm just going to measure from the end how far it needs to be. So we're going to have the bottom of the monogram start about 9.5 inches from the end of the tie. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to nudge this down just a little bit. And now for all of our ties, when we do this, we're just going to do this. And I'm going to drop a piece of our magic heat tape down on this as well, just to make sure it doesn't move. So let's cut a piece of tape off. And I'm just going to take this, and I'll go this way actually. Tape that down. So now I have my placement all set. I'm going to go over to my heat press, and we're going to press it onto our tie. All right, here's my tie on my heat press. This is my Stahl's Max Press. It's a 15 by 15 heat press. It is available on our website at therhinestoneworld.com. so we have everything we have here. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this right here. Now if you're going to do multiple ties, you can even lay them out at one point. I'm going to do my first one individually just to make sure I have my process correct, and then after that I'll go ahead and lay a couple out at a time for this. So we're going to go ahead and I dropped my heat press down to 270 degrees. Because of this material, I want to do a lower temperature. I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to bring my heat press down just for a couple seconds to get it to stick, and then I'm going to inspect the tie to make sure it looks okay too. So let's bring that down, and I need to increase my pressure, so I'm going to turn it clockwise. So basically what I'm doing is I want my pressure to resist me a little bit when I bring my press down. So let's do that, and now let's lift, pick this up, and we can bring our tape up. And if you look, we already have a pretty good stick with this. So when you have your heat transfer vinyl with EasyWeed, when you see the fabric, the texture, that's the word, the texture of the fabric through here, that means you have a pretty good press. Now you can see it through here. I could do a little bit more, so I'm going to drop this down, increase my pressure just a touch, and then press this again for a couple more seconds. Okay, so let's lift it up. Let's inspect it. Check that out. So I have my custom monogram tie. It's perfect for groomsmen, bridal parties. You know, in the South, we love to monogram everything, and a lot of times the men are not about it. So it's a nice, subtle place, but it'll be a great opportunity for a picture when the wedding comes around. So if you like any of the materials from this video, you can purchase them on our website at therhinestoneworld.com. And you can comment below to let us know if you have any questions or if you have any comments about the video.